I'm so excited to tell you about the Kroger OptUp app. OptUp is your virtual assistant for healthier shopping. I've been using OptUp with my grocery shopping, and now I'm more mindful as I make food choices for my family at Kroger. What I love the most is how OptUp tracks my household score automatically based off what I'm purchasing at Kroger. OptUp also makes recommendations for healthier alternatives and nutrition facts of the foods we purchase. OptUp is very easy to use. Download it today in the App Store or Google Play. Welcome to the Produce Moms Podcast, where we believe there is a produce mom in all of us. I'm Lori Taylor, founder and CEO of the Produce Moms. For 10 years, I sold fresh produce to over 300 grocery stores in the U.S. And today, my team and I are fully focused on inspiring people to eat more fruits and vegetables. This show is just one of the ways that we hope to inspire you and your family to eat more produce and live a better life. If you like what you're hearing on the podcast, join our community of almost 40,000 in all 50 states and over 30 countries by visiting theproducemoms.com/subscribe. And be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes. Thanks for being here. Enjoy today's show. Welcome back, everyone, to another wonderful edition of the Produce Moms Podcast. Today is really special for a lot of reasons. First of all, you all are going to learn a lot. We're going to dive into talking about Washington tree fruit, brought in a true industry expert. Her name is Kaci Komstadius. She's got nearly 10 years of experience working at Sage Fruit Company. She serves as their social media and consumer marketing manager. So she's the gal who gets to do all the fun stuff, like answer your questions on their Facebook posts and stuff like that. She knows a lot. She's very knowledgeable. She's a lifelong resident of the Yakima Valley, has a deep heritage in, Washington agriculture and fresh produce. And, she's been recognized by Produce Business Magazine as one of our 40 under 40, rising star talent within agriculture and fresh produce. And most importantly, this girl is truly one of my very best friends. So, Kaci, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So thank you for all your support and for everything Sage Fruit has done. Anyone who has been following the Produce Moms knows the name Sage Fruit.
Yeah, we've been working together for quite a while these days.
I know, the longest standing partner that we have, as a matter of fact, everyone. I mean, the Produce Moms is only possible because of our brand partners. These are the brands within the produce department that, truly empower us to do what we do and align with the Produce Moms to help tell their story. And no company, no brand has been working with us longer than Sage Fruit. So definitely a brand that means so much to me. One that I've really grown up with, one that's stuck with me through all the transitions, everything that you guys learned about in episode 1 when we told the story of TPM. But the whole team, all the families behind the effort at Sage Fruit just means so much to me. And Kaci's no exception to that. I mean, when you work with someone for a long time and your work is focused on something as fun and cultural and emotional as fresh food, you really get to know people. And Kaci and I our relationship has grown into truly a beautiful friendship. So this is going to be a lot of fun for me to kind of share Kaci's story and the Sage Fruit story with you all on the podcast.
I think one of my favorite memories of us when we first started working together was when we decided that we were going to do a Twitter party because we were both getting into the social media game. Yep. And we had heard about these Twitter parties and we decided that we were going to focus on I Heart Cherries. And I remember sitting in my office at home and tweeting away for about an hour and having this oh my gosh moment when we started trending. And I remember calling you afterwards and we were both having this super, super hyped up conversation about what we'd just done and how we've grown since there. I mean, that was, I don't even know how many years ago that was. 5-6 years ago?
6 years ago. Yeah. Yeah. That was one of those monumental moments. Kaci's always been that one for me where I know if I want to do something new or innovative, I can call her and she's pretty much game, and she works at a great place that, Sage Fruit's empowered her and trusts her when it comes to new and adventurous things in the world of marketing. So I do remember that day. We actually, Kaci, I Heart Cherries was actually trending above Nick Saban. So
Yeah.
all of our friends in like Georgia are like, well, of course. But for anyone listening that's an Alabama fan, that's a big deal. It was right after some sort of coaching announcement that they had made, and he was the number one trending topic on Twitter. And then all of a sudden we booted him and we got number one on Twitter for a short amount of time. But regardless, I mean, that feels good.
Yep.
I heart cherries.
Especially because we didn't know what we were doing at the time.
I know.
So
well,
just
fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And so a lot has changed in the 6 years that we've been working together. But one thing that hasn't changed is our passion and our respect for the work that each of us does. And, I do think, I mentioned earlier, I think that anyone who's following TPM, the name sage fruit, that sage fruit represents Washington tree fruit. So Kaci, tell us what is Washington tree fruit, because it's kind of exciting how you guys represent now more of it than what you did in some of our archive posts from 6 years ago.
Yeah, we do. Actually, the state of Washington in general is known for our agricultural region. So many people think that in Washington, we're all rainy and wet, and it's very much lush and green the way that Seattle is. Right. And it's not. It's split by the Cascade Mountains. So you've got that on the west side, and then on the east side, you come over and you will see rolling hills of orchards, and we have a lot of hop fields and vineyards. But for us, tree fruit actually is our tree fruit that we grow is apples, pears, and cherries, and then most recently apricots, peaches, and nectarines. Those are our 6 commodities that we ship out of here. There's so many more that Washington's known for, but that is our primary focus, are those 6 commodities.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's tell people, because like I said, when I was kind of teeing up that question, anyone who's been following the Produce Moms since you and I were, doing I Heart Cherries on Twitter, they've been able to identify your brand as apples, pears, cherries. So like you said, this addition of the stone fruit, the soft fruit, that is all that's new. That's an expansion. How does an expansion even take place? I mean, because most of these brands within the produce department are multi-generation family farming operations, or multi-generation brands of the produce department. How does an expansion like that take place?
So for us, we are formed by multi-generation family farms. We've got multiple warehouses in different locations. We've got an apple packing warehouse. We've got a couple of those. We've got a line that's dedicated specifically for cherries. We now have one that's dedicated specifically for pears. And they all started out, coming to this region because of the rich volcanic soil and being able to grow tree fruit. We've got the Valikoff family. They came over here, and they are from Bulgaria, and it was, I believe, their great grandfather first started out over here. And then we've got the Verbrugge family and the Larson family, and just all of these family farms that then also have their packing houses, and those packing houses in turn work with or own sage fruit, and we market their products. So for us, when it came to the expansion of our tree fruit production, it was one of those, let's diversify ourselves. Let's have more offerings. We want to be able to be that one-stop shop for our customers. They can pick up all of their products that they need. They can pick up all of their summer fruits. They can load their apples and their pears together, and they get what they need. But for us, it was very much just being able to offer more products to our customers. And so we had an additional partner that joined into the sage fruit family, and with them came a large volume of stone fruit.
Right. And let's define the stone fruit. I mean, you and I, it's like common verbiage, but we need to probably go ahead and let people know what we mean when we say stone fruit. So go ahead.
Cherries are also stone fruit.
Yeah. I know a lot of people forget that, including me. I sometimes forget that. Good point.
Yeah. Even raspberries are stone fruit.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
However, when it comes to our stone fruit that we're referring to in our expansion is the peaches, apricots, and nectarines. It's a fruit that has a pit, more or less, in the center of the fruit, and the pit is not actually the seed. The seed is within the pit.
Right. Yeah.
So
and it's hard, like a stone. Like the
yes.
pit is that protective pit that is hard like a stone. And yeah, huh. I'm so glad you reminded us that cherries are a stone fruit too, because I do forget that. Yeah, so that well, good, and that makes sense. So, Kaci, what's another question I have for you? I mean, obviously, those who follow the Produce Moms, they know that we have the utmost confidence in sage fruit. You know that the only brands we promote are brands that we truly believe in, and brands that we view as the best brands in the produce department. We'll get into a little bit more about what all you guys do that really sets you apart and puts you among the best. But what do you, as the woman who manages so much of the communications for this brand, what do you want moms to know when they see the name Sage Fruit?
Well, on our packaging, you will see that it says it's an exceptional eating experience. And we want people to know that we are very much committed to providing that to them. We want moms to know that the fruit that we are producing and packing and shipping worldwide is the exact same product that we feed to our own families. We very much take every precaution to make sure that it is we've got rigorous food safety standards in place, and we're putting out our best product for you.
Yeah, amen.
To the best of our ability.
I've seen it with my own eyes, and
yeah,
I've seen it with my own eyes, and you all will be pleased to know that, right around the publication of this podcast. So if you're listening to it right when it's freshly published, make sure and hop on over to the Produce Moms and Sage Fruit's Facebook page, because we're actually going to be. We're going to be in the orchards with Kaci, touring some of these new stone fruit orchards, right, Kaci?
Yep.
You're going to take me through the packing house, and we'll capture everything we're allowed to capture and share with you guys. I mean, one thing I can always say about Sage Fruit is they're very much an open book when we do those field tours. They want to share their story and want you all to know, exactly how your food is grown and handled.
Yep, and when you come out here, then we will hit at least the cherry packing facilities, our stone fruit packing facilities, and probably even our apple facility, because even though it is technically not apple season, it's always apple season.
No, it's always apple season. Anyone who's ever been to that Yakima Valley knows it's always apple season. No, it's a thrilling place, and it truly is one of the prettiest places I've ever been. Getting out in the orchards is just it's an unbelievable sight. So we'll do our best to capture it for you all in the upcoming Facebook Lives and social media posts and the forthcoming engagements and publications that, TPM will be putting out with Sage Fruit. Let's talk a little bit more about, as we mentioned what you want moms to know, but that you guys you're a company that, and you're a big reason behind this, Kaci. Like, you actually listen to what everyone's telling you on social, or the consumer inquiries that you receive through the phones and the emails. And one item that has recently changed with the Sage Fruit family is that organic expansion.
Yep, we have put a lot of effort into whether it's transitioning acreage or planting new acreage of organic produce, and mostly apples. We do have some pears as well. But it's definitely, the trend is not slowing down. People are telling us that they want organic produce. Retailers are saying our consumers are wanting organic produce. So we have made a very large emphasis on that, and it takes 3 years to transition an orchard from conventional to organic and be able to sell the product out of it.
Right.
And I mean, even if you planted a new orchard, it takes roughly 3 years before it starts producing the quantities or the quality that we are able to ship to consumers too. So it's a process. It's not like you can just say
huge investment.
today.
I mean, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember last time I was out there, Kaci, it was a couple years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you and I toured some orchards with Mary and Peter, members of the Verbrugge family.
In Royal City.
Yep. And we went through some orchards that were in the process of being converted to organic.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that was 2 years ago. They're probably just now getting to the point, depending on where they were at in that transition. Because like Kaci said, it takes 3 years when you're a farmer and you decide, okay, I'm going to take this, this field or this orchard, and I'm going to convert that to a USDA certified organic, fruit producing orchard. And it's a 3-year process. People do not realize the investment of time, resources that goes into bringing organics to the table.
Because you can decide today that you want more organic orchards. However, now that you've decided that that is where you're going to have your organic orchard, you now own this land and you have these trees and you're transitioning it, but you're not going to be able to sell any of that fruit for the next 3 years.
Right.
So it's
Isn't that amazing?
It definitely takes a while. So, and I don't know if a lot of people realize too, when it comes to planting an apple tree, how long it takes for it to start producing. I have friends who go to the store and home improvement store, and they plant an apple tree in their front yard and can't figure out why it is that it wouldn't produce that. Yeah. And so then we get into in an orchard that's very large, it takes 3 years before you actually get any of your product, but they don't tell you that when you're buying it for your own home.
Right.
No, it's just it's a different step. Yeah. And they may not, maybe they don't know as much about it because it's not someone who does it on a regular basis.
Yeah. It's totally
You'll produce something, but it probably won't be as edible as it would 3 years from now.
It's not going to be the exceptional eating experience.
No, it will not. So. Not year one. Definitely not year one.
No. All very important facts and just that insider insight for you all as to what actually goes into bringing this Washington tree fruit to your home kitchen. It is a significant amount of effort and really just a significant amount of love. The Washington region, especially at this time of year, all farming is no days off. All farming, but it's you have not seen chaos like cherry season in Washington chaos when it comes to produce. There's nothing like it. Like I try not to even call anyone in any of my colleagues and fresh produce that are in Washington during cherry season because it is so nutso.
I think we gear up for about a month in advance, knowing that it's coming. We have projected harvest dates. And once that first cherry's picked, you're in for the whole summer.
Right.
And now even more so because with, normally, we can go with cherries probably about 1st of August. And now with adding the peaches and the nectarines in there, they are starting here in the next couple of days and they'll go much longer than that. They'll go well into apple harvest.
Yeah. So when we're in the fields, when you all are hopefully tuning in to the Facebook engagements that we're doing, and the blogs and emails and everything that's forthcoming from this Sage Fruit Field Tour, Kaci, do you think are we behind the chaos? Or are we right in the thick of it? Or what do you think?
We're going to be right in the thick of it.
I love it.
Right in the thick of it.
It's definitely you guys. We'll try to do our best to articulate it and really capture it with these upcoming field tours. But yeah, it's something else. Cherries are a really delicate crop.
Yep, they are.
One of my favorite ways to describe the how delicate they are. Kaci, tell us what happens when it starts raining when there's cherries on the tree.
You mean when they send out the planes and the helicopters to keep
that's what I mean. Yeah. So people don't realize this. Yeah, there's 24/7. So once that cherry season starts, not only do the farmers need to hire, what you could easily say, okay, we need the harvesting crew, we need, the food safety people in place, like all the different employees that you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. In cherries, you actually have pilot crews on call 24/7, because if it starts raining, they put those pilots into helicopters, and then the helicopters go and hover over the trees with the chopper blades going to divert the rain off of the fruit.
Yep. Rain is really not our friend here in Washington in the summer months. And usually we don't get very much. That's kind of a misconception, is we really just don't get much rain. But when we do, it is all hands on deck. Like we definitely have to take the precautions in order to protect the fruit, because unlike apples, stone fruit they don't store. We can't keep them in our storage and bring them out and run them across the line. It's a pick, pack, and ship within just a few days. That you will have in your local grocery store, you will have fresh stone fruit that is less than a week old.
Isn't that amazing? Even for someone like me that lives in the Midwest, when we get those Washington cherries, you can know that those were just harvested.
And we're shipping around the clock. Yeah, shipping
and around the globe too. It's not just like, hey, the Midwest or New England is a far way to go. Like, you can find sage fruit cherries, globally. And people don't realize that the global marketplace and demand for the fruits that y'all are growing is strong. This has been a real joy. I know we're coming to the end of our call. I do have one thing I want to touch on, because I think it's extraordinarily important for moms like myself when we're telling the stories about these brands of the produce department. Unfortunately, there's a real low brand recognition within the produce department, and it's my hope and one of my primary goals and passions that the produce moms can help advance the brand recognition and knowledge that consumers have for your produce department items. But when it comes to sage fruit, yes, we've talked about how sage fruit is an exceptional eating experience. We've talked about the fact that you guys have, you've expanded recently to include a lot of organics, and, the Washington tree fruit portfolio that you represent now includes some of these stone fruits. But tell us a little bit more about what sage fruit does in the community. I mean, that's always important to the followers and fans of the Produce Moms. They want to know, what's the story beyond just, you guys grow grapefruit?
Locally here, and just in general, I think one of my own personal sort of pet projects is always kid-related activities. We've participated in the Produce Mom shows, and we do this every year. There's called a Gap to Gap, and they have a junior Gap to Gap. And for a couple of years, we would go out and hand out apples to the kids out there to encourage them. You just got done running a race. Here's some fresh produce for you to munch on, instead of handing out the candy. Right now, for this summer, we're actually participating in the Downtown Summer Night, where it's a music and food, basically a street fair every week on Thursdays. And we go out there and we bring some of our activities for them to get to hang out and participate in. We're very avid in our promotion of our Kids in Force program. Yep. It's important to us that not just are you eating well, but also, you're getting the exercise and having fun and being outside and active. And I think the Kids in Force program is probably one of our,
it makes you really unique.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
And even if you look on our packaging, we've got our Fruit Friends pouch bags, that you'd see that. And it's geared towards kids to help them, kind of guide them into making those healthier snacking decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Are we trying to force them to eat apples? No, we're not ever forcing anybody to do that. But if it kind of catches their attention over the bag of marshmallows that's at their eye level when they're going down the baking aisle, it's a little bit, at least, you're giving your kids something that is healthy.
Oh yeah. No, I completely agree. And as you guys, visit some of the publications we've done at the Produce Moms in partnership with Sage Fruit, or if you check out the Sage Fruit Facebook page or their website, you will absolutely see their commitment to kids, which is certainly heartwarming for the Produce Moms. We really view you guys as just just like our spirit animals. So
yeah, I mean, and we're members of the Produce for Better Health, and the focus on increasing the consumption of fruits and vegetables. I mean, it's very, very important to us. Right. And so we kind of get out there and do what we can in order to encourage that.
Yeah, no, it's great. You guys do good work. So where can our listeners go to learn more about what you do, to join the Sage Fruit community? We got to talk about the new, Kaci's been really busy the last year. She started doing an awesome newsletter that I'm a subscriber to, really enjoy. So Kaci, tell everyone where they can go to opt into that and learn more about Sage Fruit.
So we've got, by visiting our website, sagefruit.com, you can join our newsletter. We've been sending out monthly updates, letting people know when harvest dates are, or when we have contests going on. We did a breeze sweepstakes for people to test out our new apple variety. Yeah. And then also on the Facebook page, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.
Awesome. And it's fun. Now if you see Sage Fruit on social media, you can not only say, hi, Sage Fruit, but you can just go ahead and take it a step further and say, hey, Kaci, what's up? You now know the person behind the screen. So no, it's Kaci, I can't thank you enough for everything that you do. And, the impact that not only you have at Sage Fruit and the Produce Moms, but really the impact you have on the whole industry and the way that you're inspiring so many other young professionals to innovate and take that next step. And, I'm just so proud of you for your recognitions last year. I mean, Kaci was a member of the Produce Marketing Association's Emerging Leaders Program. She was recognized by Produce Business Magazine as a 40 under 40 recipient. So she's just, she's a superstar, and she's one of my dear friends. So really, really proud of you, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah. Keep up the great work. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Kaci, any closing thoughts?
I guess the only thing that I would actually say is just be, for moms, for consumers in general, just know that we're always listening to what you guys are saying and what you guys want in the produce department. I'm going to say that probably across the board. And we take that into consideration in future plans, as we've as we show with the transition for organics, but we're always listening, and we always just want to make sure that what we're growing fits your needs.
Wonderful. All right. Amen to that. Well, thank you, everyone. And thank you again to Sage Fruit. Kaci, have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Produce Moms Podcast. If you or someone you know would like to be a featured guest, just send an email to Lori@theproducemoms.com. We know there is a produce mom in you because there's a produce mom in all of us. Join our community on Facebook and all social platforms. Help us change the way America eats. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.